Good evening, everyone. I know it's been a while since I've spoken to everyone, but I've had a few requests recently from followers or from ladies that have been following my story over the past few years to give everybody a bit of an update of what's going on with my health. And it also just happens to be Endometriosis Awareness Month, so it's probably fitting to give the ladies out there some hope. I have fantastic news. I haven't really spoken out too much about it, but my husband and I have been very blessed to fall pregnant, or I've fallen pregnant, but we are having a baby. And we are expecting our baby the end of August. It's nothing short of a miracle. We didn't think we were going to be able to have a child, and but we were fortunate enough, and I am pregnant and my baby is healthy, and I am doing well in the pregnancy. So far so good. Basically what I want to say today to all the ladies that are fighting this battle, I know there are so many that have been very unfortunate to not be able to get to a doctor fast enough so that they can be treated before the fertility or their fertility gets affected. And like I said, I honestly thought, my husband and I thought that it wasn't in the books for us, but it wasn't in our hands, it was in God's hands. In terms of my endo, most of you would have seen that my last surgery was last year, February, and in the meantime, my doctor has unfortunately passed away. That was quite devastating for me. He played such a pivotal role in my life, with the treatment, with just believing that I was sick. So yeah, it was heartbreaking for me to have to lose him. But I do know that there are so many women that were being treated by him that are just as heartbroken. He was an amazing man, and for that, Dr. Johan van der Walt, we will always miss you, love you, remember you. You have left a legacy behind, and especially this month, I'd like to honor you for that. One of the last things Dr. van der Walt said to me is that he was hoping to still be around, because he always made me the promise that he was going to fight as hard as he could so that I could fall pregnant. But I know he's looking down on us. A few ladies with endo, as I've mentioned earlier, have asked me to send this update to give hope to the ladies out there. What I would like to say is, yes, I am very much pregnant, but the reality is the endometriosis is growing right next to my baby, which is quite scary. Physically, thus far, as I said, I'm very healthy, and I've had no complications, and I'm just going to keep praying that with if it's God's will, and I believe it is, because I wouldn't have fallen pregnant if it wasn't His will, that I will carry full term and we will have a healthy baby at the end of the day. The plan of action is, though, to operate again after, or once I've had my cesarean, to have the endometriosis removed again. So yes, ladies, it's not always a foolproof plan that if you fall pregnant, the endo goes away. I don't know if it's ever going to go away. At this stage, I'm just grateful to have fallen pregnant and have the opportunity to become a mother. The disease, I don't know what lies in store for me or my husband with this journey. I hope that within the next couple of years there are more developments and more studies done to find a cure or a more sustainable or more effective treatment plan for the more severe cases. But yeah, right now I don't know what the future holds in terms of my endo. But I just wanted to share some hope with those of you who have endo and are feeling despondent but haven't had a hysterectomy and haven't had everything, everything's not completely damaged. There's hope. There is hope, even when it looks like there's none. Sometimes when you stop stressing about it, and it sounds cliched, but when you stop stressing about falling pregnant and stop stressing about what your body is doing and all the ovulation tests and all of the calendars, ovulation calendars, the minute you stop concentrating on that and just start trusting in a higher power, for me, that is God. I'm Christian, so that's my go-to. I know there are other people with different religions and some that don't have a religion or choose not to have one, and that's also okay. But yes, for me, my strength came from believing in my God. And it wasn't me alone, it was myself and my husband who prayed a lot and wrestled a lot with God about what we really wanted as a couple. But we also knew that if it wasn't in God's plan, we would have to make peace with the fact that it wasn't in God's plan for us to have our own children. That didn't mean that we weren't looking at other options like adoption and maybe just helping other kids or spending time with other kids. We were looking at different things. Yes, we were struggling a bit to wrap our heads around the idea that we would not have kids. But there are so many kids out there who don't have a home, that were abandoned or are abandoned, that need a loving home. And yes, it's not the same. Like I said, I've had to emotionally try to dig through it and figure out if I would be able to deal with it. I'm privileged enough to know quite a few ladies that have endometriosis, and some have chosen to adopt, some have chosen to rather not adopt, and didn't have children due to the infertility. And But ultimately, it's a decision that if you're in a relationship or in a marriage, it's a decision that you need to make as a couple. As a woman, I can say that it's very crippling, and my heart literally bleeds for so many women out there, because nobody would ever understand the lack of self-confidence that a woman feels for not being able to carry a child, the level of pain, for not being able to bring a life into this world. It carries so much significance, and yet society doesn't really understand the significance of it. There's so many young people that are very careless, with falling pregnant and abandoning their kids. And then there's so many people, so many women and men who have complications and they can't have their own children. And that's so painful for them to see the amount of kids that are out there in the systems with no love and no home. So my message, or my wish for everybody this month, is show some compassion for a loved one, for a friend, for a stranger that is suffering with endometriosis. Unless you've felt the level of pain, unless you've felt what it feels like for nobody to understand or literally be able to comprehend the discomfort that you are feeling, unless you know what it feels like for doctors to doubt what you are saying or what you are describing as your pain and symptoms, it's okay if you don't understand, but just show them some love and compassion. Sometimes just sitting in silence, giving them a hug, telling them how much you love them, and just physically showing that you are supporting them means more than trying to find words that will never suffice. It's okay if you don't know what to say to your loved one, but just love them. If your loved one is struggling with endometriosis or any other similar disease, make them a beanbag or a water bottle. Make them a cup of tea. It's the small acts of kindness that goes a long way. Sometimes we don't want to know that you don't understand. We know you don't. But just knowing that our loved ones can comprehend, that they don't understand what we are feeling, but they still are sympathetic, it goes such a long way. And that's my wish for you guys, for all of you. I hope that you are loved this month and every other month to come. I hope that this video can inspire families to be more supportive and understanding, and to think before you speak, because words cannot be undone. Words are so powerful and so dangerous. Rather just sit in silence if your loved one is frustrating you. It is frustrating, but just love one another, care for one another, support one another. This is not an easy disease to live with.